Let me cook, bitch. Baby.
Yeet.
It's time to eat tonight.
There it is.
We're eating everywhere.
That's what's up. How you doing tonight?
Hey, it's Monday night. You know what that means.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fantastic weekend. A little rainy, but other than that, we got a little rain, but it was fantastic.
Man, you been paying attention to the group chat today?
Just a touch.
Not really much a group chat. More of, I guess no, it would be the group chat because Scott did that post.
I enjoyed reading that.
I always get a kick out of that, man. It's always fun. But welcome, man. It's been a fun week.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's only Monday. That's the craziest part.
And the cool part about it all is Monday really kicks off the action, so we're fixing to just add on to it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can't just up and celebrate right off rip, as we are going to kind of stop. Moment of silence, bro. Legend passed away today. Not just wrestling legend, bro. NFL legend. One of the men of the gridiron. Larry Allen passed away, man. Suddenly, from what I'm hearing, is while in vacation in Mexico. There's no definite to it from what I'm hearing. You know, there's no cause. I grew up watching this dude, man.
Same.
Bro, I was gonna say it's rough.
You know, I can remember during the Cowboys run, you know, when they were really at the top of their game, like these younger kids don't know nothing about it. Because back then when you had Emmett and Michael and Troy and Larry Allen and Deion Sanders, look, that squad back then was fire, and that was a deadly team. And when I remember watching one game, Larry Allen, they were playing Washington, and it was a Thanksgiving game. Brother, let me tell you what, I watched him the whole game. He dominated every person they put up against him.
Bro,
at that point, I became a fan of Larry Allen's, and I was like, wow, this dude is badass. And he ended up being a Hall of Fame, you know,
I was gonna say, granted, he was never on, he was never, on the Bucks. I remember though, the first time really paying attention to was 94, when he'd first come in. And then 95, I remember really hearing his name because of that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then, bro, I remember just every year after that, I'd get those trading cards. I don't know if you remember getting those.
Oh, yeah.
You just get the random ass cards out of the packs. I would always end up with one of his somewhere.
Yeah, Larry Allen. Look, he was always on my Mutt team. When they bring him into Mutt, he always was on the Mutt team, dude.
Yeah, granted, I never was a fan like that, but there's that respect.
Right.
Again, you got on Madden. I'd have him on there. No disrespect about it.
Well, like I've said before, I'm an insanely passionate Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, and I'm an insanely passionate Florida State fan. But when it comes to watching a football game, I watch more than just those two teams. And I'm a fan of good players and people that go out there and give it their all. And you ain't got to have the greatest game. It's like they were talking, like who's the best player. They were ranking the finals players, right, in the NBA Finals. I'm a huge Celtic fan.
I read something in the whole tribute that it was him and Warren Sapp and another player. I don't remember the name right offhand, but they're the only three players to play in be named in two different all-decade teams.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I
Dude,
mean,
Larry
bro,
Allen was top notch from the day he entered the league until the day he retired.
yeah. Well, jumping off of that, bro, let's uplifting. Hey, Justin Jefferson and the Vikings, bro. Bro, it's a record-setting deal.
Booyakasha!
$140 million over 4 years, 110 in guarantees, and I was looking at it, 88 and 3/4 guaranteed when he signs that contract. $35 million a year. That is crazy.
Can I tell you who's going to sleep good at night and his name ain't Justin Jefferson? His name's JJ McCarthy.
Hey,
JJ McCarthy's going to sleep like a baby tonight, brother.
so I know we heard trade rumors about, JJ wanting out of Minnesota. You might have a JJ deal going on up there in Minnesota this year. You got a happy Justin Jefferson and a hell of a rookie, bro.
I think they're going to make some noise in the NFC North. I like that. If they can get that running game going, they're going to be serious because with Justin Jefferson on the outside or anywhere on the field, whether you slot or the outside, he opens up doors for those other receivers. And as long as you can catch the ball, and players like Osborne, I'm not sure if he's still on the squad, but he's a really good clutch player for them.
Hey, people are happy right now is one not named Justin Jefferson.
Who's that?
The upcoming fantasy owners of Justin Jefferson.
Right? Yes, sir.
Now, hey, we were talking about it before the show.
Right.
Spit out the info you were talking about involving Mike and Chris.
I was listening to a radio show on ESPN today, and they were talking about the value of wide receivers. And they were talking about wide receivers that this past season, as far as the yardage production goes, and Mike Evans was the 9th leading receiver as far as yardage this year. All right. Chris Godwin was in the middle teens. But what they were talking about was these players and the value of a wide receiver. And surprise! And
my bad. Wrong button.
These contracts that are really big that these wide receivers are getting, and only 3 wide receivers total. Cooper Kupp, you got to give him his due because he's a hell of a player, and he stays where he goes. He's not looking to bounce around. He likes that that comfortability with sustainability, and I love that too. And that being said, that goes back to the only other 2 wide receivers that not only signed big contracts with their team, but they won those Super Bowls with that said team who they signed the contract with, and that was Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. So shout out to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Jason Light. Once again, for any of you doubters, the guy will get the job done.
Hey, but you know what? I've also talked about, I don't see Godwin being a part of the Buccaneers by the end of the year.
I see Chris Godwin being a Buccaneer if we're in playoff contention. We're not giving him up until after the season. Now, depending on how the season goes, I believe one way or the other, this will be his last season as a Buccaneer.
Hear me out, though. Even if we're in playoff contention, I can still see Chris Godwin being trade bait.
Depends on the production of the young guys.
If we have production stepping up in these younger guys, and we can kind of see the future forming, because again, no Devin Tompkins, we have a whole new slew of young cats. I think
could Trey Palmer be the next Deshaun Jackson?
If he can produce, if he can take his game up, bro, and he can get them hands where they need to be, I can see him being the next D-Jax. As long as he doesn't quit 3/4 on the way down the route.
Dude, I will never forget that touchdown run.
I know.
That
In
touchdown
Tampa
run.
and Philly,
Huh?
as a Buccaneer or as an Eagle?
Like, as a Buck, I mean, if you want my answer. But I figured you were just taking a shot, so I didn't really care. But anyways, yeah, as a Buccaneer, dude, I mean, as a fan of the sport, dude, watching that play, just if you could not see what Jason Light in the front office saw in this kid, that play exhibited everything. But what we need to do is get him to be able to do that once, maybe twice a game, and be consistent with that. Plus, get those first downs and get those really quick yards and really tough yards after the catch, like those smaller, very agile players can get. So that's a huge bonus. And then you got this rookie McMillan coming in, bro, that I've told you once before. Look, my eyes are open. I'm watching this cat. I think he's going to be the next star in Tampa.
And I'm agreeing with you on that. I remember us talking about that a few weeks ago. And if he can, again, if he steps up, Trey Palmer steps up, Mike produces, if Chris somewhat becomes still the odd man out, even moving into slot, being in playoff contention, if one of these other teams come calling, I see him being that odd man out.
Especially if the price is right.
Absolutely.
But, at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if this is all upfront information and we all know what's going on because, to be honest with you, Chris has won a Super Bowl, right? Yeah. He's been recognized as one of the elite wide receivers in the game, year in and year out, right? So what does he want? He wants to get paid like his value's worth. And I agree with that, and I ain't got no problem with that. But look for a sign and trade. Look for a sign and trade.
I was going to say, I don't think we can produce that in Tampa. I don't think we can give him that money because of what we're giving out elsewhere.
Wherever he goes, he's going to sign a long-term deal with.
I mean, I'll put it back up there, bro. He's seeing this right now. He just seen what Justin Jefferson signed today. And damn well his mouth is watering.
That's $37.5 million a year with $88 million due at the initial signing.
I was going to say, from what I was reading, that's $35 million a year. So close to what you were saying. Now, with the incentives, probably about 37, 38.
Right.
I mean, bro, one way or the other, that's still crazy.
That's nuts.
Like, bro, yeah, like,
wow.
Chris knows what he can do. Is he Justin Jefferson? Damn, bro, he easily could be.
He's not as athletic as Justin Jefferson, but give me 3 receivers that's got better hands than Chris Godwin.
I was going to say, I trust in Godwin's ability to where I believe
he's a complete wide receiver, bro. He's one of the top 2 blocking wide receivers in the game.
Well, I was going to say, where Justin Jefferson lags is he can't block the way Chris Godwin can. And no disrespect.
Right.
I mean,
but at the same time, his athleticism excels Justin Jefferson on that level as opposed to where Chris Godwin is elite, but he's not super elite like Justin Jefferson in that category. But Chris Godwin, to me, is, if you're comparing in this and from this category, is way more of a complete wide receiver than Justin Jefferson.
You know what? I think,
and I'm talking just complete wide receiver.
See, here's the thing: is Chris Godwin's more of a complete receiver than Mike Evans as well.
Yeah,
he's got the qualities that Mike lacks, and the reason that the Bucs went and got Godwin,
his hands make him better than Mike, and that's the only reason.
His speed makes him better than Mike.
Well, I
his
mean,
speed.
Mike's not 25 years old either.
Mike's never been the speed guy.
Shit.
Mike's always
For a dude inside
for Mike's
that
height.
had jets.
I'm not. Hey, I'm not taking his speed. I'm not taking anything away from him.
Okay.
This is what I think of Mike, bro. He's that deep. What do you think they got him for? When we had Deshaun Jackson, they went
Go get it.
Mike Jackson. Exactly what
Go
we had
get
Vincent Jackson. Yeah, exactly what we had Vincent Jackson for. You had the legs, you had the speed, but you were that red zone threat. I needed a guy that could get those big catches when I need it.
Yep.
That's what we got Mike for. When we got Godwin, it was to replace Deshaun. Hands down. Is he as athletic as Deshaun? No, but he gave us.
I think we got better value than Deshaun.
Yeah, I was going to say he gave us more of a value than what Deshaun Jackson would given.
No doubt. And that's not taken away from D-Jax, because outside of his temperament, sometimes he was one of my favorite players. He had a temperament sometimes that could rub me the wrong way, but
I still have his jersey sitting in the closet.
The only reason I ain't judging is because a wide receiver got to be a prima donna to some degree.
You know what? Hey,
only the good ones are.
Listen, and here's my thing with him. What he was doing in Philly, to me, I have more respect for him being the prima donna than I do for Odell.
Yes, sir.
Because at least when it comes to when it came to D-Jax, yeah, he's the prima donna, but he is the prima donna correctly in my opinion.
Right.
So, and any other any pancakes you want to throw out there
to give an update? I don't really have much, pancakes to talk over. There's not a lot going on, but I'm building up information. And that being said, it was a perfect segue for this announcement. Next week will be the first episode of the 2024-2025 season of The Plunder. So look for that. We will also share it throughout the Pancakes and Powerbombs page, so you can find it there if you don't follow me. If you need to follow me, send me a DM and I'll send you the link to the page. We'll get you set up. I'd love to have you. Bucks football.
Hey, we'll post everything in Pancakes and Powerbombs. I'll also do a whole announcement on 88 as well for everybody.
Right.
And as we always do, our shows are always live on our pages. You can also and I'll get you set up as well, but we're also live through YouTube. We're also live through Twitter.
And thank you, by the way. Thank you to everybody who follows us across all those platforms, whether it's me, him, you, me, whatever. I don't care. We enjoy it and love it.
But now, jump in to the Powerbomb side of everything. Bro.
Yeah. Off the top rope. Powerbomb off top rope today.
Hey, we're just going to go off the top rope, man. I've been watching social media lately, and it's been nuts, bro. So we'll just recap it because SmackDown, first off, was just bonkers. Bloodline making a statement, bro. Gorillas of Destiny just running through Street Profits like nothing, bro. I kind of was... I was wanting a little bit more. I was thinking Street Profits were going to pull it out.
I did too. I was shocked about the win, but I was impressed. I was shocked. Let me say this: I was shocked, but about halfway through the match, I could see. I like whoa. They were dominating them. Like it was quite impressive, to watch them work together and like formidably. They're going to be a handful in the near future.
Are you familiar with Gorillas of Destiny? Any TNA?
Vaguely. Okay. I've seen clips. I saw clips, but those clips got me interested because I like physicality. And look, let's be
Same
real.
thing with
When you're
Bullet
talking
Club.
about Pacific Islanders, physicality is probably one of the next 3 words.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, I don't know how much your knowledge goes with it as well, but even Bullet Club timing is just. I'm seeing more of it because I'm seeing kind of a stalemate in a bloodline talk, but I'm not at the same time.
right.
Like you can tell they're still pushing, but it's waiting for Roman to come back, waiting for Dwayne to come back. I'm hearing Jimmy's coming back soon.
Well, also hear this. I also read something and I didn't get a chance to check the validity of it, but Roman's movie closed. Finished wrapping up.
Yeah, they wrapped up filming and everything.
So that could be a little sooner than people expected because we were looking at a few more months,
Yeah, I was gonna say we were looking at SummerSlam from what I was reading. Now, not gonna throw a lot of weight into it, but it's Saudi Arabia.
He might take a plane flight across the pond.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is Scotland an option?
I'm just saying.
Like,
I think they should wait. If it were me, I would wait.
I would It almost feels like
you can build. And the reason why is you could build it up more to that and make it more impactful.
Well, and here's another thing. I mean, when you're going with it, you need a build up. I mean, look what they're doing with the Logan and LA Knight thing. I mean, what's on the screen. Look at even on your screen, the AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes. I really thought that was coming to an end. I did. But to see how that turned, bro,
when I saw that baby blue suit, bro, I knew it was funky smelling. Ooh,
yeah,
it had muscle smells all over, bro. I said, no, this ain't legit.
Well, when he had the Good Brothers out there, I'm like, okay, are we getting? Because I'm reading within the internet wrestling community, and it's like, are we getting kind of a New Japan? Are we gonna get a Forbidden Door reference? What are we gonna like? I was kind of hoping for that. I wasn't thinking Mark Henry 2013. I didn't think that was gonna go, but I guess when he brought Cody out, I knew something was up. And I even told the old lady, I was like, Cody's out there without the title, something's up. Something don't feel right.
Yeah.
And that was just, I'm not going to say it was hard to watch because you got to expect this. This is some next level shit. This is AJ Styles going full.
AJ is a very good heel. One of the best.
I'm telling you right now, I hope they allow the Forbidden Door to really fully open because I want an AJ Styles full run. I don't care what organization we get him on at all.
And look, to boot, if you want to go and link something that could be interesting in the very near future when it comes to AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes, again, the Good Brothers were involved this week. They were part of the ploy.
Yeah,
they were part of the ploy.
They've been everywhere. They've been everywhere lately, and I've been again within the internet wrestling community. NXT, just behind the scenes, really just hanging out with Mia Yim, Mishin.
Yeah,
which I still think they need to let her have her name back.
Yes,
if
I agree.
If Butch was able to go back to Pete Dunne, you should allow Mia Yim to go back to her original name.
Yes. And what about a potential a potential Arn Anderson, Cody Rhodes.
Well, and let's kind of talk. Let's bring this up. Ben's got a great point. It does. Cody does seem stale, and yeah, you got to throw the whole, Arn Anderson thing in there. And yes, Mishin, Good Brothers, AJ Styles. It was the OC,
Yeah.
but lately that I've noticed they've killed that whole vibe. Good Brothers, AJ Styles are originally New Japan. Mishin is. I'm trying to remember who her husband is. Because I know I believe he has ties too.
Oh, okay. Well, for me, I personally like AJ. Bringing as far as on camera and the relationship with the Good Brothers
she's
back
married
to
to
life.
Keith Lee.
Keith Lee, that's who it is. But at the same time, I really like the feud between Cody. They've never had feuds. They've never faced each other until this last match. And this could be. Look, don't be surprised if AJ Styles beats Cody Rhodes.
Not for the title. If AJ Styles to hold one more title, I believe it would be somehow within the working with TNA that he would have one more, just even winning it and retiring that night.
Right.
I could see that being something.
That's the house that AJ Styles built.
That is the real house that AJ Styles built.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where I got introduced to AJ Styles.
Same.
And even following him to New Japan and following his word when they became Bullet Club and when he joined with, the Good Brothers, like, that was great. When I seen Luke Gallows hanging out with CM Punk in WWE, it was one of those like, wait a minute. Like, and I'm glad they let him go and he went back and really found himself.
Yeah, he did.
Because had they continued that straight edge with him, I don't know if his career would have truly survived. There's no way.
That was tough.
Now,
that was tough to watch him.
Another thing, speaking on last week on SmackDown, and we're going to talk about Raw as well. Another QR code popped up. Now they're getting a little bit more intense, my man.
Yeah.
This one brings up Clash at the Castle in some numeric terms or numeric code.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, man? Is it time?
I believe it's time, but what I'm trying to figure out is who they're coming after. Or are they going to just make, it aware that they're here at first? And I'm not sure which way to go, but at the same time, I would want to say LA Knight was his last opponent.
What if, and hear me out, what if they're on Raw? What if that somehow is the demise of the Judgment Day? You already have a couple of ground pieces laid. There's an possible Alexa Bliss sighting last week on Raw, as many people pointed out. Wow. Braun Strowman was chasing JD McDonough, the human Funko Pop, backstage. Braun Strowman is also being linked to this new Wyatt faction, along with Alexa. We already know. We already know Eric Rowan, aka Eric Redbeard, is re-signed.
Yep.
We know Taylor Rotundo is already signed. He's been under contract, and I I don't think his is going anywhere at this point.
No, he's probably a lifer.
I believe they just gave him what they gave Bray.
Yep, the keys to the kingdom.
Yes, and it's basically his to fuck up.
And I believe he'll take care of it.
But maybe we get them on Raw. We need something like that. Because that shifts to Netflix come next year. We brought this up numerous times. When you get
Can you imagine a Netflix produced cinematic match with
hear me out. If you watch the Bray Wyatt documentary, they filmed a pilot for Netflix. Or that was never aired. What if?
You're right.
What if all of that is able to tie together? Because I believe when we get the Netflix WWE deal, they're going to carry a lot like the WWE Network platform and app used to.
Right.
You're going to have access to the entire library. You know, you're going to get what you get, but you got to go everywhere on Peacock. So I think that's that might be something we look into.
Yeah, I definitely think it's time. I think that the fans want it. I think the buildup has been done right. I think if you put it off much longer, you're gonna start to fizzle. Because, like, you think about it, everybody in the whole world, as far as Bray Wyatt is concerned, went through a massive stage of mourning. Like, for me as a wrestling fan, like, it's tough to watch. Like, when I watched the documentary, I knew, I was like, wow, that's still heavy, you know? And
I knew by the end of that,
really was behind the scenes.
I was gonna say, I knew by the end of it, it was gonna somewhere within there was gonna get me, bro. I was gonna break.
And I didn't make it far, bro.
I mean, it didn't take long, but when they started really unveiling everything.
For me personally, and maybe I'll talk about this one day, but I've decided to actually watch it again and really like shut the door and be by myself. Because what I felt a lot through that, I'd probably say a third through that whole documentary on Bray Wyatt was I related, emotionally. Emotionally, I related to him a lot. And I realized that, and dude, like, again, 25 minutes in, and I'm like, woo!
Well, I was gonna say, man, like, my girls are right here. They'll tell you. When I first started watching wrestling with them, I fell in love with it again because of the Bray Wyatt character.
Yeah.
Watching him and Randy Orton at, I believe it was WrestleMania 33, 34?
I think 33.
And, maybe. Just seeing the ring itself from a sky view turn into roaches. And I'm just like, wait, what the fuck is that? Like, bro, it just blew my mind. And seeing him fight Orton, bro, seeing Orton's face, I'm like, whoa, hold up, this is nuts.
Yeah.
And then just seeing, following
the creativity he brought, and what he did was like, and I would love to know what the Undertaker told him in the ring that night. But that being said, I
believe the Undertaker had done a podcast or something, and somebody I think it was Undertaker had said something about it, but it was something along the lines of like it's in your hands now,
like the passing of the torch. Like, what I was going to say is what the Undertaker accomplished over his career was astronomical. Bray did it so much faster as far as how much impact he had on the business of wrestling because of
If
his creativity over the
if
next 5
Bray
years. We're going to see so much cool shit in wrestling, and it's
if
because of men like him.
if Bray would have done it during the Papa Shango days, I don't think his form would be so accepted because during that time, if you remember, Voodoo itself was still considered a okay, you're kind of crossing the line. What Bray
Yeah.
was doing, bro, that would have. I don't think WWE would have really survived that character. You
No.
know, there's no way. You know, we as an audience, we're not ready for that. Oh, we'll put it
No.
bluntly. You know, as you said, Bray, what he did, the creativity, knowing his mask was done by the guy who does the mask for Slipknot,
Yeah.
to me, bought me into the Fiend character. Like knowing he had that horror side to him. You know, the Stephen King, you know, even going darker. Like again, like you were saying, it resonated. Like knowing what I've gone through and knowing how my, I guess my creative side would work. It made me enjoy that character so much more.
Absolutely.
And
Like
bro, it was so worth it.
for me, like every match I watched of his over the last 2.5 years, you see like he tremendously got better in the ring, you
Yeah,
know, and how not just like in the match, but like how his character evolved into what he brought into the ring.
yeah. Well, let's kind of move forward. You know, as we were talking about Raw, let's lean into it, man. We got just over 20 minutes before. This looks like it's gonna be a banger tonight from everything I'm reading. I've seen Sheamus is gonna bring great fighting to fucking Ludwig, bro. It's fight night.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good
AO,
match.
AOP and New Day. I want to know how this carrying cross thing's going with it. Some just I don't know if you're getting the entire New Day involved with them, or if this is just some cheesy ass feud because there's nothing to do.
Yeah,
The one I'm looking forward to, man, is Ricochet and Braun Breaker. One, you're
yes, sir.
gonna get to see Braun get beat up a little bit.
Yeah, you're
It's
gonna
not
get
gonna be.
tested.
I don't think it's gonna be a 30-second match.
No,
I
sir.
really don't.
Ricochet ain't gonna be down with that.
Another one I'm looking forward to, bro, is Dragon Lee and Finn Balor.
That's gonna be a good match.
What Well, from what I'm seeing as well, you got Damian Priest and Rey Mysterio, so I'm feeling kind of a Judgment Day LWO vibe going tonight.
Absolutely.
Does the LWO prevail over Judgment Day in their matches? I mean, there's a lot going on with the Judgment Day right now. I mean, you got Dom over here being a hussy, kissing everybody while mommy's gone. His wife's at home, tired of being the third chick at this point.
And tensions rising every week between the other three. Four.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, we
So
don't know what's going on. And then in the middle of all this shit tonight, bro, we're gonna throw in the women's tag titles. And I'm gonna tell
yeah,
you right now, a
that's
storm's
interesting.
coming to Raw, but I don't think they prevail and keep their tag titles. I think Zoe and Shayna take it because we had talked about it a couple weeks ago, and it has been confirmed that Bianca Belair is indeed pregnant. So
Yeah, and that being said, with that confirmation, you can't even at an early stage. She's not going to be able to take many bumps and bruises, and I don't think they have anything necessarily lined up for Clash at the Castle. So
You don't want her taking them bumps and bruises, man.
Tonight is the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah.
But you know what? Let's kind
And
of
congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations to him. Now let's kind of dive into Raw a little bit while we got the opportunity.
Oh, real quick, just to throw this news out there. If you haven't heard, Mike Tyson backed out of the fight.
Yeah, but they're from what I'm reading, they're going to
They're supposed to reschedule, and they said it was medical related. But me and you talked the other day about a topic, and we kind of felt like, and look at what happened. So just hold that thought, and we'll go back to it when they start bringing this up again.
I'm hearing it's a ulcer flare up.
Right.
And I'm reading that they want to postpone it, and they're going to pick a date when they both had equal opportunity to, get in a ring. But I'm also reading that Mike will lose money if he knocks out Jake Paul. Mike loses money if he knocks Jake Paul out, plus keeps Jake Paul in the first round. He gains more money the longer Jake lasts.
Yeah.
So
basically, he gets paid to make Jake look better.
But here's my thing: do you just pick a date, schedule the fight, act like you're, and I mean, not to really be a dick, but do you throw that money away and just knock the kid out? And
Fuck yes.
To give him the reality check?
Fuck yes.
Because I think it's about time we do that.
But I don't think Mike would do that. I think he'd take the money. The old Mike would knock that cracker out.
Old Mike would knock his ass out 2 months ago.
Fuck yeah, he would have.
There'd be no got your hat.
Bro, I want to see I believe he's skilled. I believe he's talented. But I want to see him in a legitimate, sanctioned fight. That's what I want to see. Let's get a sanctioned fight, and then I'll take the time to sit down and watch it.
Yes, I agree.
Because I see the ability in his brother, just athletically. So from what I've heard, he's a better boxer than his brother is a wrestler. So, like, if that's the case, let's.
I'm not going to take anything away from Jake.
I think they're both stupid athletically.
I think Logan is a better wrestler than Jake's a better boxer.
Fair enough. I haven't watched him enough.
That's my thing.
I know what Logan can do. Logan's a bad motherfucker.
And yeah, Logan's not afraid to take risks. That's the problem. Why do you think he jumped in the ring with Floyd Mayweather at the opportunity?
If he will make sure his ego's kept in check, he's going to be a champion a long time in the WWE.
If he can get the ego in check, absolutely. If he can understand and be that team player and continue to do what he's doing, absolutely. What I love seeing is him and LA Knight going at it on social media with Logan accidentally tagging the wrong LA Knight. But let's dig into it, my man, for Raw tonight. Liv's gonna be explaining this kiss. We didn't get to see it, but you've seen it on social media and everywhere. And if you're lucky enough to catch it, Dom and Liv kiss on the ramp. Dom afterwards takes social media with the Kermit the Frog meme posting fuck. And right after that, Finn Balor gets on social media and posts, he's got game. Let's also talk about earlier in the night when before Braun Strowman started chasing JD McDonough. JD was caught talking to Liv Morgan. There's a lot of talk with Liv Morgan right now while Mommy's gone.
Oh, that's beautiful build up as far as I'm concerned. They're doing a perfect job with that storyline.
And then, I mean, on top
But
of
I
that,
don't know how long that's going to last.
well, you see how the ending of Raw went last week. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
You know, the most chaotic 30 seconds in wrestling in the last 2 months for anything not bloodline related. That was the craziest thing. And then you get this, bro. This story, you know what? I might be behind Liv a little bit more right now. But
she's doing a really good job in the storyline with the way she's handling things.
Well, and from what I'm reading, you know, with Becky, they kind of wanted her to hang around and give a legit, you know, hold to the title because they were, instead of just giving it to Liv.
Yeah.
They wanted to kind of give some sort of storyline, and it kind of sucks that they do that. But you know what? When Mommy comes back, I hope we get a straight feud out of it.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Let Liv hold on to that title for a little bit while they're feuding, and then right at the end, Rhea just snatches it from him.
Well, if you look at it from this way, as far as the progression of talent, the more Becky, Charlotte, Bayley, Rhea, and all these other women hold these titles down, these young girls, it's not about necessarily winning that match. For any wrestler, women, men, it doesn't matter. It's not just about winning that match. It's about how you well as far as like your legacy and as far as carrying, you know, the company and being a role player or being a guy, like having a title and being able to be a wrestler and having a title are two different things. Not every wrestler should be put with a belt on their waist. And that's just because of the way you have to do things in a certain manner. I mean, at all costs.
Well, knowing how wrestling plays out, if you're within the WWE, knowing how everything's pre-scripted,
yeah,
I'm not saying everybody should be a world champion at least once.
Right.
But everybody, and this is where I hope that we get a mid-card women's title that maybe floats between both shows, or you get two per, you know, one per show. But give me that to where everybody gets at least up to a mid-card. At least one time.
Right.
When you know the company buys into you.
Yeah.
I don't want to really say take away for the feeling of a triple crown or a grand slam. I'm sorry. I don't want to take away from being a grand slam champion.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're making more of them. They're allowing it to be more of a thing. Why not allow that? And then allow these wrestlers to go through this forbidden door.
Yeah.
And build and market themselves as well from your company. Allow the wrestlers that little bit of freedom. And yes, have certain guidelines. I'm not saying, you know, let it be a free for all. Make certain guidelines, and this needs to be an agreement between all parties. You know, you don't poke, you don't do this, we won't do it, you don't do it. If talent wants to work, we're free. Now, if they want to sign with you when their contract's up, we're more available to be open with that conversation. Now, speaking of contracts being up and all that, I hope this isn't, but this might be the last time we see Chad Gable on Raw and in a WWE ring. My question is, If it is, what happens with the Alpha Academy tonight?
If this is the last night we see Chad Gable, Otis whips his ass.
Do we see Otis finally unleash?
Absolutely. You cannot bring Otis back in that character, in that form, unless you have him fix that.
So here's my prediction. Because I know there's been a lot of rumblings about Chad Gable going full heel. If there is no control or creative control over his character, where he can go full heel, bring his own Alpha Academy 2.0 basically into fruition, then he won't be back in the WWE.
I agree.
If they give him that creative control, then I see him resigning. And we'll find out that next week.
Yeah, we will.
So, we talked about it. And tag titles are up tonight. Are you still in the agreement with me that things Zoe and them take over?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is the perfect opportunity to pass it over, and I think this is a formidable team. And I think as far as women tag team goes, these two will keep it with a high regard.
So,
but this is not the last. This is just the beginning of the storm.
Okay? Oh, I was about to say, because where do you go with Jade Cargill on SmackDown now? Do you have her push for maybe a women's championship match? Do you have?
Yeah, I don't want to see no squash matches.
No, do you have Nia beat Bayley at Clash at the Castle, and then Jade Cargill come after Nia?
I could see that.
Because if Bianca's pregnant, you kind of maybe the plans for her just got put up on the shelf because of SummerSlam. Maybe this is your new SummerSlam.
Right.
You know, what if? So with that, I'm excited to see. The one I'm excited to see too, and we had talked about as well. I believe we're going to be looking at the main event of Rey Mysterio taking on the World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest. My question for you is, how does this match fit into the existing storylines that the Judgment Day has going on with themselves? How does it fit into the LWO storyline that they have separate with themselves? Do they intertwine and have a big feud? And does this culminate to a Rey and
the title is not on the line, correct?
Title's not on the line. This is just
Rey Mysterio wins, and I think it has a lot to do with Dominic. And as far as the LWO and the Judgment Day, they've been beefing, so it's legit back and forth. And obviously, we spoke about it before. We've got Dragon Lee versus Finn Balor earlier in the night. So from that perspective, it just makes sense that this is, in addition to the feud, but it also elevates the storyline within the Judgment Day at the same time.
And then, again, that's another thing for me is like, if you had with this feud, where does it go from there? Like, how do you get more into this? Do you get a Dom versus Rey masking career? Do you get? I mean, does Liv somehow come apart? Does Zelina go after Liv with this? Like, there's a lot.
But you also can't forget. You also can't forget Mr. Apple Spitter, Carlito.
Oh,
He's in the fold, you know, and he's obviously capable of stabbing people in the back, you know, as per his career. So you can trust that guy this far, and
I
that's
see what you
it.
did there. And again, this is where things can get really good tonight, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's why.
so that's all I got. Powerbomb wise, now I don't know if we quite in this show. Hang on, I don't think Andrade has much to do with the storyline right now. I think he's starting to do his own thing. You'll see it get tied in a little
He's going to
bit.
be worked into a storyline very, very soon.
Yeah, I see. I'm hearing there's going to be a little bit of a push within the Intercontinental Championship and Andrade. They're trying to settle out, and I'm also looking at the Forbidden Door coming up.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I see Andrade possibly being one of those superstars allotted to participate in that. Now, sports wise, I just want to say something, bro. I see a lot of WNBA talk lately, and I find it kind of ironic. A lot of the players that are hating on these rookies are the same ones that were crying about viewership. But numbers are up from what everything shows. Viewership's up. You got advertising coming in now. And it ain't just I'm not just saying Caitlin Clark, bro, but that rookie class itself with Angel Reese and the others. I'm not big on it. I don't watch it. I have yet to watch the WNBA. I don't think I'm ever going to. But I see what they got going on. And it's special. I'm interested to see where this goes. I just think they need to shut up for a minute and just enjoy it. Because apparently they've been putting up for it for a long time and ain't shit gone down.
This is my opinion. This is my opinion. Solo me out. Solo me out. Give me the solo stream. I got something to say about this because I've heard a lot of different views. And let me say this. I heard somebody talk about this, and I buy into this. I bought it. I bought an extra pair, and I've got 2 more on back order just in case. But this is it. Every elite player has gotten bullied. Okay? Look at what the Detroit Pistons did to Michael Jordan. He come back the following season. Guess what happened? He turned into Michael Air Jordan, and he never stopped. Okay? You look at all these players. LeBron, when he came into the league, you know, they're bullying him, and all of a sudden he's crying, you know, and they're talking like whatever. You know, all the great players. Kobe Bryant got bullied. Kevin Durant got bullied. All these great players, they get bullied. You know what I got to say? To not only, you know, the single player that was identified in this topic, but because of a nasty, it wasn't even a play. The game hadn't even started. It was a shit move and a classless move by a player. And that's all I'm going to say on that. But to get back on topic, take this as a compliment and run with it. Tuck your head down and get better at your game and focus and get better. And let me tell you what, the WNBA, just be patient. I buy into this young girl. Caitlin Clark is going to be that dude.
Hey, I'm going to say this.
I've watched a few of her games. She's badass.
I've seen the clips. I'm not really a basketball fan per se, but she's putting eyes onto the game. Angel Reese is putting eyes onto the game. This girl, Caitlin Clark, is breaking records. You know what? MJ got bullied.
Can people not even realize, like, these girls that are talking shit had a while to sit on their ass in the offseason, while Caitlin Clark was trying to win a national title, and then 10 days later started her WNBA career. So let's just give it a season, and then we'll come talk about this again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was gonna say this girl. I'm not gonna say she is the GOAT, but she might easily be a GOAT.
That's it. Hey, on that note, we are talking about goating out, baby, because it's Monday Night Raw. It's live. We will see you Friday at Derek ManicBuc Stevens for BucDad. We is out.